Hello there. Today I'm going to be talking about guys, or more specifically, I'm going to be talking about writing about guys. Because a lot of people have asked me questions about, how do I write about a boy? How do I write about, a guy who may be a brother or a romantic interest or whatever in my story? And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what I think about boys in stories and how I think that you should write them. There are a few things to always remember when writing about guys. The number one thing that I try to suggest is don't make them perfect, okay? Guys in real life aren't perfect, and it annoys me really badly when I read a book where you have this, perfect guy and he always knows what to say and he's smooth and he always does the right thing. Guys like that don't exist. They may exist in romantic comedies and they may exist in some poorly written historical fiction, but they don't exist in real life. You want to make sure that you have a guy who's interesting and who's nice and who's sweet, but who messes up sometimes. Sometimes he loses his temper, or he forgets, his girlfriend's birthday. Stuff like that happens in real life, and so that should really be reflected in your writing. Don't make him perfect. Make him human, but make him sweet. Another thing is don't make your guys overly romantic. It also really gets on my nerves when you have a guy who, delivers 3 dozen roses, every other week to remind his girlfriend that he's thinking of her. That may be sweet for a big romantic gesture every once in a while, but it can get really annoying when you have a male character who's just constantly being really flowery. Like I said, it's not realistic. That's not what happens in real life, so you want to stay away from that. The third thing I want to suggest is don't forget to use guys to add humor to your story. We can all relate to female characters who have like embarrassing moments where something happens and they spaz out or mess up and they feel mortified, and that can be really funny and add a lot of interest to a story. But the same thing can happen when writing about guys. Guys make mistakes too. They get embarrassed. They don't know what to say. They stutter. They fall. And stuff like that can make them seem a lot more endearing and really sweet, but it can also be really funny and add a lot of great humor to a story. Guys also usually have a tendency to be more sarcastic and funny, and I think that can always really lighten up what could potentially be a heavy scene. So don't forget to use your male characters to add humor to your story and add life. So those are just a few suggestions that I have when writing about men or young men, and every story is going to be different, every male character is going to be different, but those are just a few things that you want to avoid when you're drafting your male characters.